Amanda here. Welcome back to the crafting studio. So I've had a lot of requests on these paper flowers. So today, that's what we're going to try to accomplish here. I'm going to try to show you a very basic crepe paper flowers using the Italian crepe paper that I get from Cartefini, and then the duplet paper that I get from Cartefini as well. And I'll list all the places you can shop for these supplies in the description after you subscribe and like to this channel. So let's get started. Okay, so crepe paper flowers have been around a long time. I remember making them when I was very little. They've come a long way as well, and so we have a lot of things that have already kind of prepared and for us and help us along that journey of crepe paper flower making. And with that being said, I'm going to show you our centers. So our center point, so the little green and the little yellow you see here is the stamen, but those centers are usually made with some spun cotton, or at least that's what I use in the way I was taught. So spun cotton, I ordered online, and the larger balls are the 25 millimeters, and then they size down. So this is 25, this is 20, and then they even go down to the 14 millimeter. But I like a big center, so we're gonna use this 25 millimeter today. So let's get started. I always, well, it was suggested that you use this already wrapped wire, and so I bought this wire. It's 18 gauge. There's already a hole in the spun cotton, so I'm just going to add a little hot glue to that center and poke that through right there. So while that's drying, we'll lay that aside. There's a lot of crepe paper out on the market today. I am personally using the crepe paper, Italian crepe paper from Cartefini. I like the 180 gram. You can see it's got a lot of texture to it. And this is what's called the duplet. And if you can see, there's a variation in color. So one side is a little lighter than other. I don't know what the gram is, but it does not have a lot of stretch. But I mostly use it because I love the color. So let's talk about templates. There are a lot of templates that you can get out of books and research online on your Google. I personally got this template today at flowerstemplates.com and under the category of flower petal. If you were just to push print, it would come out this large. We don't want to do that, so remember, take that 100% down to 50%, and then you'll have all these various sizes of flower petals. This particular flower petal, I believe, is the rose petal. Again, I'll put all this in the description, but this is where you can find your template that once you cut will look like this. And you can see I took the second to smallest one. And then I transferred it to a little cardstock. That's just a personal preference, is to transfer it to cardstock so it's just sturdy. Okay, so that's enough about templates. So before my petals, I'm going to use this 180 gram. And you can see this is the grain of the paper. See how it comes up and down? Because the stretch is going to go opposite the grain, or this way. So I'm going to just lay out my paper. And because this paper is so precious, it's really not. This much, I think, is like $7 or $8, and I've used already half of it. So it's precious in that we want to save as much as we can. And I'm going to go ahead and do some folds. Okay, and cut this down the grain of the paper. I'm going to lay my template on top. Okay. And cut this across here, and then go ahead and cut out your first set of petals, okay? And don't worry about it being perfect, because we're going to stretch and pull that crepe. Sometimes I wait till after this first kind of cut that gives me the outside, you know, shape, and then I'll come in and really shape it after it's cut. Like really get in there and just give it some ins and outs, and there we go. So I will continue along and just do more. Now this has got to stay in its fold. But continue along. I would probably take this a little more serious if I was going to use this flower and make sure my folds were all right, but this is fine. We're just doing this for video, so follow along there. Okay, and again, just take your individual petal and go ahead and shape it out. Okay, till you have a nice big stack of these. I don't know exactly how many petals you will need because it's different for me every time. Okay, so we will go ahead and move this off to the side. Okay. So I believe, let's head back over to our center. We're gonna hop around a little bit today. And we are going to glitter this center. Now you can paper wrap it like we did here. I love the glittered centers. This is the finer glitter. This is the thicker glitter. You can get it online at Hobby Lobby, Michaels, and of course, I'll put a source in the description. How do we glitter these spun cotton balls? Well, we use our Mod Podge, get a healthy amount on there, and just glue. What I will do is I'll spend a day just doing centers of all different kinds, so that when I'm ready to sit and do flowers, I have a lot of choices there. And this is kind of a beginner center, so I wouldn't worry too much about the ones with that have the paper in the center, unless you want to just move forward and figure it out. But here we go. So I put a decent amount of Mod Podge glue, and then I will use my regular, this is regular glitter, and just get it all over that spun cotton. And this should be dry for sure in about 2 hours. 2 hours at the most. And then just tap it free. Tap off the loose glitter, put it over here. Now, how do we get that glitter back in there? You just bend your paper plate, and then we get all that, because glitter around here is precious. I use a lot. Okay, so this was a hot pink glitter, and we will move forward. Now, we'll let this one dry, and we'll go ahead and use this one and put it out here. That is our center. Now we're gonna work on the stamen. So the stamen is this kind of next layer, right? Okay. Now I will again lay out my duplet, and I'm going to probably measure out maybe about 3 inches, okay? So cut out about 3 inches worth of the duplet lengthwise, okay? And then I'm not gonna fold it all the way down, maybe not quite halfway. Now this is an important part. Be sure and stretch that duplet out, okay? Look how far it went. So it went from about here to here, so it stretches pretty far. The 180 gram will stretch really far. So now what I do is I will fringe this. Can you use fringing scissors? Absolutely. I like doing this. I will turn on a TV show and sit here and fringe for hours. But this will give me, because my center is big, I like the stamens to come up above it, so that's why this is long. And this is not even, and I'm sorry, but make sure when you cut that first piece of duplet that it's even. Okay, this is about all we will use for the flower itself, so I'll cut that in half. I'm gonna open it up, and now I'm gonna cut this at an angle, because if I was to use all that to wrap around here, it would be too thick. So let's put that off to the side. Now we're gonna fringe some more. Now just try to get it as small as you can, get that fringe cut as small as you can. Okay. I'm going to show you something really fun in a minute. That's why we do this extra fringing. Next, we're going to use our Alene's tacky glue. It doesn't have to be turbo, it can be just Alene's glue, Michaels, Hobby Lobby. And, actually I think I'm gonna cut off a little bit more of this. I just don't like to have, if you're new, you might wanna leave that extra on there. I've gotten where I don't require a lot of that base. So, I am going to glue, just lightly glue, as I a whole wad comes out. But I'm just gonna dot glue down that crepe paper, and I'm going to put it right under the edge of that center, see, like that, and I'm going to twist around, and I'm going to continue to twist, and I am not going to worry about where that glue is going. I'm just going to worry about that twist on itself, so you know that it stays even, okay? And if I feel it slipping, just push it up, okay? So keep going, keep going. Every once in a while, do a little squish and twist. I'm kind of holding that end of that. Now I've run out of glue, so before I get to the end, just gonna use a little bit more glue and twist, twist, twist till I get to the end. Now at this point, I would kind of press it all together, and at the same time, I'd push it up. See how it's moving up and out a little bit? Just like that. Now we're gonna take our scissors and gently curl those little stamen inside. If I lose one or two here, it's okay. So there we go. So they're all kind of curling inside. Look at that, and look how fun that is. I just love this art so much. Okay, now the fun part. Now kind of wad this up like this, as tight as you can, okay? See how I took that extra piece, and I'm gonna cut it over here in the corner, just in tiny little pieces. Okay, you're like, Amanda, what are you doing? Well, you'll see in just a minute. It's the best part of this whole process. Okay, so that should do it. Okay, put all those little pieces over to the corner. Now I'm gonna take my Alene's glue, put some over there. Alene's is cheap, so just use it freely. I'm going to dip the end of that stamen. All the little, they're just dancing in and out of that glue just to get those tips. See, just like that. And now I'm gonna dip it into those little cut pieces. Okay? See, and I can, as I go, I can look and see, did I miss any? Well, yeah, I did right there. So we're gonna come back and make sure all these little guys get something for those honeybees to land on. Okay, right there. Okay, so there you go. How fun is that, right? So give that time to dry. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna teach you how to cup and add the petals. So we have cut our petals, and let me just cut a few more of these free real quick. This is really easy to do while you watch TV. Just sit there and cut and trim, and it's fun, and you end up with the best product. The best fun thing to add to gifts like I did here and flower arrangements. Okay, so we have our petals. So this is the next step. This is called cupping in the crepe paper flower world. So what I'm gonna do is kind of push in on that petal. So if you're looking at it this way, I'm pushing into the center a little bit, okay? And then my next thing is I'm gonna take the top and gently just kind of go opposite, in opposite directions with my fingers and thumbs. So see how that kind of gave it a ruffle edge and a cup here. So I'm gonna probably make mine a little bit bigger, and I'm gonna cup and frill that top just like that, okay? So it ends up like that. So it goes from this to this. See that shape? Okay, so again, cup that center like that, and then frill that top. If you're pulling too hard, you'll see you're stretching it too hard, but that's okay, just rub it out. Okay, and we're gonna do all our petals like that. Okay, so we're back. So we have cupped and frilled all our petals, and now we're gonna attach those petals. So I'm going to add my Alene's glue right there, and I'm going to place that right underneath that work we just glued, okay? So that piece right there. Now see how it's kind of bowing? Well, we want to reverse that. We want to push it down with our thumb a little bit, okay? You can also use hot glue in this process. I know a lot of flower people do. And typically what I'll do, and I'll show you on the next one, so here we go. So we'll just kind of scooch that up there while I cinch everything right here, and then I press it down so it kind of is cupping that center, and you just hold that a few minutes. If you use hot glue, you won't have to hold it long at all. I don't know, I was taught with using this glue, so I just use this glue. So what I'll do when I'm going super fast is I'll go ahead and probably glue, 3 petals at a time. So see how we went opposite? So, like this is 12 and this is 6, or 12 and 6. Now we'll do, 3 and 9. Okay, same thing. Around there and right here. So you can see this flower is taking shape. The whole time I'm just cinching that right there, and it's messy and the glue will get all over your fingers, but it's okay because it comes off really easy. Now at this point, I would go ahead and tape this with floral tape, and floral tape is just put it in place, turn with your dominant hand while stretching the tape with the other one, okay? That just gives it extra security. So let's go ahead on our next one. I already have that one glued. And there we go. So now I'm gonna kind of just fill in between the other petals. So I think you can see that. The whole time just holding on and cinching as tight as I can until all that glue will dry. Okay. And then we'll stop right here. And I think I will tape. So as you can see, when you tape, the twisting is with your dominant hand, and then the pulling is with the other hand. Okay, so there's our final product. I would let it dry at this stage, and then when it was good and dry, then you can start really pulling apart that petal and working each petal and cupping a little bit more and opening it up. So it looks something like this, right? So that is a pretty basic crepe paper flower. I hope if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section, and also in the description, I'll add where you can find the spun cotton balls and maybe the template and where you can buy the crepe paper. But you guys, thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to my channel. We have lots going on this summer, and like this if you did like it, and I hope to see you soon.